In this video, I'm going to show you what are the step-by-step in order for you to set up and also process payroll information in Xero. Before we set it up or even process with any payroll information, we have to double check whether you have the enough permission role so that you can start to initiate your first payroll information on Xero. In order for us to double check, just simply click on the top left in your company name and go into the settings. In under settings, head over to users. And on this page that you will get to see all the user name and also their email who has the access right to, accessing to this Xero subscription. So if you see your name here, let's say, for example, I'm just going to make sure that I have enough the permission role so I can set up the payroll and also with the settings as well. So I just simply click on three dots on the right and change permission. Scrolling down, you see there is an option called Payroll Admin. So I just need to make sure that it is checked, and then I can click on Update Permission. For now, I'm just going to cancel it because I already have the Payroll Admin user permission. So now, the second thing for us to do is to set up the pay item in the payrolls in order for us to process with the next step. So we can just click on the business and click on Payrun. In this page, you can see that because in this demo account that we have previously initiated a lot of different months for payrolls purposes. So, but then if you have never set up any payroll or Payrun in Xero before, you should see a blank page here. First thing we need to do is to manage the pay item. For us to process Payrun, it is very important to set up the right pay item. In Asia countries, mostly that we see pay item are like the full month salary or part-time salary and low pay leave as deduction or other allowance as well. And another thing that we see is the CPF, which is the the superannuation for employer and also employee as well. And we also see some of the others allowance, maybe like the skills development levy or some commissions or even some miscellaneous allowance as well. You can definitely set up the default pay item here so that you don't have to set up the pay item from scratch every single time. And also, if we click into the full month salary, and you'll be able to see what will be the account for reporting, and there is a drop down list for us to choose from. So because that you can set up your own chart of account so that you can use your own judgment to map the account, the best account for this pay item. Let's say for this full month salary, I'm just going to put it as like wages and salary account. So once that you're happy with it, and then you can hit save button. At the same time, let's also look at the CPF. So if we take a look on the employer contribution, so you can definitely set up the name and the default description here. And under the pay and tax type, you're just going to select for the employer contribution here, and then you map the best account for reporting so that it shows, in the right way and also in the right places in your report. And moving on, we have the CPF employee contribution. Because for the employee contribution, we are just going to deduct from the staff salary. So that's why that in the pay and the tax type, we select as deductions. But of course, there are so many more pay items that you can set up, like no pay leave, skills development levy, or allowance or even commission. So once that you are happy with the setup, you can actually start to process with your first payroll. Let's just go to the business and the Payrun again. And now, as I mentioned that I have previously processed a lot of different payruns in Xero account. So what I can do with Xero with this Payrun module, right, is that I can make the accounting entry for payroll related information And the second, I can generate the payslip directly from Xero, and I can also send it to my employee as well through Xero platform. So in order for us to create a new run, like the new payroll, so I'm just going to click on the new pay run. There are two options here. The first one is start from scratch. The other one will become in handy once that you have used it, to process the payroll information. Because let's say if you have consistent number of staff or the salary is mostly the same every month. So once that you have done the first month and then the second month onwards, you can actually copy from a previous pay run that you have, completed before. So that makes it really, really handy when it comes to like the consistent payroll and also with the same amount of the salary, etc. So now I'm just going to start from scratch for now. And I click on this option and click continue. So now that we are in the page that I have to set the important date for the period cover for this payroll. So it's going to be monthly or weekly or custom frequency that you want to set up. For now, I'm just going to set up, this is like a monthly salary that I'm processing. And I just need to set up like the period that covered by this pay run. Let's say in this case, it's going to be December pay run. And the payment date is also quite important as well. Make sure that you are setting up like, the current month, one of the date in the current month, so that it will fall under, let's say this month is December. So if I'm selecting 31st of December 2024, so all the payroll information will be, feeding into the December figures in my report. So this is quite important. Once it's okay, and then I can hit next. So now that we are actually on the payroll information page, where I just have to do some calculation from my end and punch in the number so that Xero can capture all this payroll information. So on the left hand side are the employee that I have set up in Xero so that they are part of the pay run. Now let's say I have 5 employees, but then I only want to process my own pay run, so that I can, just, selecting my own name in here. Alternatively, if you have not added any employee before, this is the button that you can click on, and then you can start to, enter their first name and last name here. Alternatively, you can finalize the employee's information, such as their email address or even like the bank account or even like maybe with the tax number in the content module later on. So now I'm just going to process with my own payroll information for the month of December. So now that this is like all in the pay items, these are the default pay item that I've set up previously in the pay item settings. So now I just need to calculate my own full month salary. Let's say it's going to be $5,000 for this month. And I'm just going to add deduction for like it's going to be $50, and then adding up like employer contribution, which is also another $50. Or actually, let's make it $100 so that it's easier to differentiate. So once that I have calculated the total amount, like the final amount, and I can just punch in, of course, I have to make the quantity as 1, and then I punch in the rate in here, just like how you normally, adding the unit price in the invoice or bills in Xero. So it works the same way. So you're just adding the rate, the amount in here, and also finalize with the quantity. If you would like to add more pay item, you can definitely click on the new line and then select from the drop-down list. So these are the pay item that I have previously set up, but then full month salary, CPF for employee, these are the default items that will be default for all the employees as well. But then you can just feel free to select any other pay item that you have set up previously in your pay item in the settings. So now that we have done the calculation itself, and you will see there will be a calculation outcome in Xero. So first of all, the wages is going to be $5,000, and there will be a deduction $50. So that's why the net pay to the employee is going to be $4,950. And besides on that, there will be like an employer contribution, which is $100. So you can just take your own time to review it. Once that you're happy, you can click on next to process. And also there is a edit employee option here. So this is where you can just update the email address for or the text number for the particular employee. Okay, so let's say we are happy with it, so that we can just progress it by clicking on the next button. Okay, so let's do that again. So it's $11, and the employee contribution is $50, and this one is $100. Okay, so it should work. Okay, yep, it works. So now that this is the final step for you to review the pay run before actually approving it. So you just double confirm with the pay period, the payment date, the payment total, and also with the employee payments. This is like the take-home pay or the net pay that they are going to have in their bank accounts. And you can also select for the due date for the payments, like other payments, because that I have previously set up that the CPF is going to the contribution for employer and employee, they are going to be going to a CPF company, let's say AIA company. So these are the two items for employee contribution and also for employer contribution. So I can just final adjust with the due date because it was sitting in my bills as accounts payable. So now that I'm okay with it, I'm happy with it, I can just simply press the approve button so that I can approve this payroll processing. And now for the December payroll that it's been done, now that you can also attach any files in this payroll so that for future referencing or the supporting document as well. Now we can just go to send the pay slip to my employee. So I just click on send pay slip button, and I can just email it or just print it out as a PDF. So this is what the PDF payslip looks like. So contain basic information like the earnings and also with the deductions and also the pay period and also with the breakdown of the CPF contribution as well. So let us just go back to this Xero page. And now that I have processed with the pay run, right? So I would like to see the actual accounts payable information. So the destination of this payroll data, right, it's just going to be in the bills as I mentioned. So simply click on the business and bills to pay. And now that I see the payroll that I've just processed, it is appearing on the bills to pay the pile. So because right now I just process one person payroll, that's all. So as a payroll administrator, I'm able to see the details of each employee and also with the salary as well. But let's say if you have 10 employees, and if you are the admin, of course, that you can see the breakdown for each employee salary. However, if you are not the payroll admin, if you don't have that permission to control or access with the payroll information, you won't be able to see the breakdown for each employee for their salary information. What you can see is only the lump sum figures in Xero, and you will not be able to click into further transaction detail so that you don't have to worry about the security or privacy of the data. So this is the end of the tutorial showcasing to you about like how you can process the payroll information in Xero. For now, for the payroll, as I mentioned in the beginning, it is for generating payslip and also generating or getting the accounting data related to the payroll into Xero for accounting purposes. For Singapore and also for other Asian countries, it does not support for the auto calculating with the wages and also with the compliance with the regulation for employee as well. So if you would like to look for some more like localized automation in related to calculating the payroll and also other labor related costs, so you can definitely check out with our app store so that you can see a lot of different HR or payroll management app that can help you with that. But in a nutshell, this is basically how you can operate the payroll in related information on Xero itself. Thank you so much.